Hi guys, Jamie Humphries here for Six String Alliance, and today we have a very special quick riff celebrating what would have been the 66th birthday of the late great Eddie Van Halen. And today we are taking a look at the riff from Drop Dead Legs. Today would have been Eddie Van Halen's 66th birthday, who we tragically lost last October. Now, like many people, this has really affected me in a way that I never imagined. And not a day goes past when I don't think about Ed, or I read about him, or just simply look at pictures of him and obviously listen to his music and play my guitar. I always have my Frankie hanging up there on the wall next to me, so it's always a constant reminder of Ed, and it's like my little shrine to him. So I thought what would be cool today would be to do a quick riff and take a look at what is possibly my most favourite Van Halen riff and Van Halen song of all time, which is Drop Dead Legs. Now, this song is taken from the 1984 album, which is without a doubt the most popular and commercially popular album with David Lee Roth. Now, I love this song for a number of reasons. Some of them are really geeky, which I will share with you in a moment. But in terms of songwriting, this just hits it on all levels. It has an incredible groove to it. It has a really catchy chorus, great vocal melody. It showcases Ed's amazing rhythm playing. You know, the riff itself is so unorthodox, not just the riff in the verse, but then we have the chorus riff, which is incredibly intricate and well orchestrated. And then on top of that, we see Ed launching into this Holdsworth inspired solo at the end that is just absolutely jaw dropping. So it really showed how Van Halen could mix up great songwriting, that kind of pop rock sensibility, and at the same time demonstrate virtuoso in mainstream rock music. Now, my ultra geeky reason for loving this song was that there was certain songs that just have cool things in them that just really get to you. And for me, it was that the intro where Ed holds that F chord and turns up the volume, and you hear all of a sudden he's going from that kind of thin, clean tone, and you hear all that gain introduced, and then he plays down that A arpeggiated chord with that palm muting, or that thick brown sound that we know and love. So that's my geeky little love for this song, but also the guitar solo as well. It was really the thing that I was into, all that outside playing, all that seamless legato. It really is a fantastic track. So I'm obviously teaching this riff on my Frankie, but this was originally recorded using his 58 Flying V, which made several appearances on the 1984 album. The tuning is standard drop D, so we're in concert pitch, but with the E drop down a whole tone to D. The song itself, Ed said in an interview that he was really inspired by AC/DC, or influenced by AC/DC, especially the song Back in Black. So it was kind of, he had that song in mind when he came up with the riff and the groove and the feel of the track. Now, the end section was actually recorded after they had the entire song recorded and complete, and Ed came up with that outro section where he has that stunning guitar solo. So they recorded that separately, and that was added onto the end of the pre-recorded track. Ed, in an interview, says that he thinks that he used his 1984 Kramer for that guitar solo, and he does state that at this point in his career he had actually retired the original Frankie. Ed undoubtedly used his famous Marshall Marshall head into a 4x12 Marshall cabinet that was loaded with 25-watt greenback speakers. Now, the chorusing effect was added post, and in an interview, Ed wasn't sure what it was, but it was probably an Eventide unit that he was using, and most notably, he used the Eventide H949 unit, which was added post for that kind of stereo spread and adding different percentage of detune on each side to give us that really nice wide chorusing effect. Now, for today's lesson and demonstration of the riff, I'm using my Frankie. I'm running into the rack, although I'm not using any of the effects in the rack. I'm just using it for my wireless today, and I'm plugged into my Mesa Badlander 100-watt head, which is an EL34 head, so it kind of has that, you can get those hot rodded Marshall sounds out of it. It sounds really cool for that kind of slightly punchier British sound. Although we've got an onboard cab clone IR on the Badlander, I'm using the 2 Notes Captor X today because I wanted to use a very specific mic and speaker combination, and I'm using some of the official 2 Notes Celestian IRs. I'm using a greenback vintage 25-watt 4x12, and I've simply got a 57 in the front of it. I'm not doing any EQ or anything. That's just the guitar, the amp, and the Captor X, and I'm going straight into my UAD Apollo XA interface and into Cubase 11. Now, I'm adding some post effects. I was going to do the wet, dry, wet thing, which I normally do with Captor X, and I was going to run into my 5150 chorus pedal, but just to keep things easy and in the spirit, I guess, of how the original record or the guitar tone was captured, I'm using a Sound Toys micro shift, which is based on an Eventide, and I'm just doing a bit of detune on that to give it that wide stereo spread. I'm also using the Ocean Way room sound from the UAD as a little bit of ambience. Again, Ed is on record saying that he kind of went off that big reverb sound of the early Van Halen records and went for a much drier, more direct tone when it came to 1984, and I guess that's why that album still sounds so current. You know, it's kind of timeless, really. It isn't swamped with 80s style reverb. It's really direct and punchy. That guitar sound is just you know, it's the greatest guitar sound ever. So what we're going to do is look at 2 riffs here. We're going to look at the little clean intro riff, and then we're going to take a look at the main riff, which is the intro and the verse of the song. I played a little abbreviated version of it at the beginning of this video. As with all of my videos, follow the link in the description where you can download the free tab and Guitar Pro file that accompanies this lesson. As I've mentioned, this song is in drop D standard, so let's have a listen to a D chord. So it's standard tuning, but just with the E string dropped down by a whole tone. I've just popped out the D tuner on my guitar. So we're going to back the volume down slightly on the guitar. You get a cleaned up tone, and also be, you know, really aware of dynamics when you're playing. Just lightly brush across the strings. So we kick things off with an A chord played at the 2nd fret. We're just playing the lower portion of that chord, so it's actually an A5 to start with. Then we arpeggiate across the B, G, D, B, G, D. Then we add our 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B and our 3rd finger on the 4th fret D to form a D chord, but it's a D chord with an A in the bass, so it's a D over A. We then strike 4 on the D and slide up to 6. And what we do there is we play an open E, 5 on the B, and then re-strike 6 on the D. And we slide down to 4, and we play 3 on the B, followed by 4 on the D. So let's put that together. Then we play another A5. Now we drop down to the 1st fret of the D and slide up a semitone to the 2nd fret. And we play the 2 on the B to 2 on the D, back to 2 on the B strings. So you get this. Then we play our D over A. This time we have a slightly different arpeggio figure. We slide from 4 up to 6. So there we slide 4 up to 6, play open E, 5 on the B and 6 on the D. Slide back down and we play 3 on the B, open G and 4 on the D. So you get... Okay, now we're back to our A5 chord and another. This time we slide from 1 up to 2 on the D string and we play 2 on the B, 2 on the G and then back to 2 on the B. So we then finish off with this F chord. We turn the volume up, that's where all the crunch comes in, and then we arpeggiate down through an A over C sharp chord. So that's 2 on the B, 2 on the G, 2 on the D, and then 4 on the A. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play that first portion of the intro through nice and slowly. So hopefully you've got the tab and you can follow me. Here we go. Okay, so now we're into the main riff, and in terms of riff writing, this is genius. This is just demonstrates what an incredible force on the guitar Eddie Van Halen was and still is. You know, he's still inspiring people, certainly still inspiring me. We start off with our D5 chord. We're just playing the 2nd fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B. You know, raking right across, getting that that drop 6th string in there. Then we have a mute on the lower strings, and then we hammer up from 6 on the bottom E string on the 6th string up to 7, and we play an open D. And that's the mystery part of the riff. I have to admit, I've taught this a few times on Lick Library DVDs, and the first one I got so wrong. I thought it was with a whammy bar. Got it better on my 1984 DVD that I filmed a couple of years ago. But yeah, so you're hammering 6 up to 7, open D, and then we play 3 on the A string. We bend that a whole tone to D. So you're playing D there. And then we release that and slide up to D. And then back down to C. So that's 6 to 7 on the E, open D, bend 3, a whole tone by pulling it down. Release it, and as you release it, slide up to 5, and back down to 3 on the A string. And then we're playing what's essentially a C add 9 chord, but we're not playing the root note. So we're only using 2 fingers. You're muting the D strings. You're playing 3 on the A, open G, and 3 on the B. Then we play this next figure, which is open A up to 2, up to 3. And then we play open D to open G. And then we play 4 on the D string, and then we play a G over B, which is 2 on the A and 5 on the D. And then we have a couple more mutes, and then we play open A to 2, and then we have a C5 power chord. And we play 5 on the low E, and then to an A5 power chord. So you put it together. And then we just repeat. Now I've tagged on the final bar of the verse in my little abbreviated version. The only difference here is when we go up to that final C5 chord, we just play that end figure slightly differently. We do the climb up, so open A, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and then that C5, and then we hold on that 3rd fret E, and then we're concluding with the power chord that leads us into the chorus section. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this very special quick riff today, celebrating the 66th birthday of the late great Eddie Van Halen. So Ed, wherever you are, man, happy birthday. We all miss you. I know I miss him a lot, and I dare say all of you guys do. It's just the world sucks without Eddie Van Halen. So let's all try and keep his music alive, keep playing the guitar, and keep playing his riffs and his licks. So hope you enjoyed today. If you did, please subscribe and also click the link in the description below. Head on over to the Six String Alliance webpage. I know there's nothing going on there at the moment, but there will be soon. Just enter your email address so we can keep you up to date with things going on, and you can get the free tab and the guitar profile. Anyway, that's it from me, and I'll look forward to seeing you here again very soon for more guitar stuff. Take care. Bye for now.